Audio Jungle.
Welcome to Coffee Talk. I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Peace, and welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast show. This is our Friday night, but Wednesday night sports night. Our Friday night, but Wednesday night sports night. So, how y'all doing today? Welcome. How y'all doing today? Today is May 12th. It is Friday. This is a makeup night, and usually it's our social hour, so we just really blended in it together so that we can give you the flavor like we always do. But I want to say this before we even get into the show tonight. I'm happy to be here. I always like to start out like that. I'm happy to be here, and this is a continuation from Wednesday night. I know we were supposed to podcast Wednesday, and then Thursday we said we would make it up, but then with the Game 6 NBA finals going on with all four teams, we just didn't want to really compete against the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Well, I'm just being honest, man. Shit, it's hard to compete for ratings in podcasting and TV, and then you think you're gonna go up against the NBA Shield when they got LeBron, KD, and everybody playing. No doubt. I mean, I'm just trying to come up though, boss. But yeah, this is Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast show. This is our Friday night sports, and I'm gonna bring my brother on tonight. He's co-hosting with me, brother Leo. And man, we're gonna just talk about the past 24 hours and the past week going forward. So we definitely gonna talk about sports. But before we do that, we never start a show without giving you its flavor. We never start a show without giving you its flavor. So tonight's flavor, and while I'm at it, let me grab my can right now. I'm gonna show you what it is, but I can't say their name. I ain't got endorsements rights yet. But, it's a 9% alcohol beverage, a wine cooler. I don't do nothing really strong anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I like a wine cooler, nice blunt, gives me a nice buzz where I can go ahead and do my delivery. You feel me? So I'm just gonna show it to y'all. This is the nice stuff here, y'all. Y'all gotta get this. You know what I'm saying? When you're not really a drinker, but you like to have something nice, on the weekend. Let your hair down. It's been a long work week. You want to do what you do. You don't run the streets no more, right? So you want to do what you do, right? Right. So tonight's flavor, we're gonna call it the 9% alcohol purple crush, and it's a cognac, by the way. And that's the nice flavor. So just a nice smooth wine cooler. Why the wine cooler? Because again, we don't do nothing really hard anymore. And I like the wine cooler to equal out my blunt. And I'd like to have a good night like that. So tonight's flavor is cognac blue crush, 9% alcohol. Wine cooler. All right. Next is the wise words for tonight. We always give you a wise words to set the flavor, the tone of our show. And so tonight, being that it's sports night, wise words comes from somebody that was a master at the Philly shell. Don't tell Mayweather I call it the Philly shell because Mayweather calls it the Mayweather shell. But that's a defense for those of y'all that don't know that terminology in boxing. This brother comes from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He was born January 15th, 1965. He's known as the oldest champion at the welterweight division, and one of 8 boxers, only 8, that has been undisputed. I didn't mean to make y'all laugh. I meant to make y'all laugh. He's undisputed out of Philly. Y'all know who I'm talking about. We're talking about a man that had a career from 1988 to 2016, man. And Box Rating has him ranked as the 7th greatest fighter of all time. That tells you the boy put in work. He's one of my favorite boxers. He's in my top 5. No other than Bernard Hopkins. So Bernard Hopkins, his wise words for tonight is, I was made to be where I'm at. I just had to go through some challenges so that I can educate others later. I'm going to say that again. The wise words of Bernard Hopkins. I was made to be where I'm at. I just had to go through some changes, some challenges, so that I can educate others later. That's Bernard Hopkins' wise words. 55 wins, 8 losses, 32 KOs. One of only 8 men to hold undisputed welterweight title. All right, so let me go ahead and bring my brother in tonight. Brother Leo, welcome back, King. How you doing, man?
Hello there. I'm great, sir. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm good, man. Get ready to crack this wine cooler open, man. I need to, get started. But it's a sports night tonight. And before we get into the sports, man, let's talk about last night, man, with the Phoenix Suns and a Denver Nuggets team who I feel may be headed towards the finals, man. What's your thoughts on last night's game?
I didn't watch the game. I seen a few highlights.
No doubt.
I mean, if it's not the premier teams, you know what I'm saying? I really don't care. I'm just like a casual fan now,
Yeah,
opposed to, let's say, when Shaq was playing and shit. When the 70 babies left left the league, I kind of like lost interest in shit. You know what I mean?
no doubt. No doubt. No, I'm with you with that. I check out the highlights more than the game. I watch a quarter or two, maybe the third quarter, maybe the fourth quarter. But yeah, I feel you on that. Sports hasn't been the same since they started to allow politics. But let me go ahead and just open it up a little bit. Phoenix Suns was picked to go to the finals, man. They was picked to go to the finals, representing the Western Conference. They formed like Voltron. They have Devin Booker, they have Kevin Durant, and
Mm-hmm.
they had the old head Chris Paul, man. But Chris Paul took another hammy injury, which he's been known for the last 6 years. His hammy always goes out. But they played Denver, man. They played Denver last night in a game that had their backs against the wall, man. It was a 3-2 Denver in the best of 7. Well, Denver rodeoed them last night, man. Beat them boys by 25 points, 125 to 100. And the first thoughts that I want to ask you and I want to talk about is, I've never seen a superstar, man, get beat in any type of playoff game by 25 points. And I'm speaking about Kevin Durant. And I'm wondering, man, have we finally seen what his weakness is? Because to me, it feels like Kevin Durant's scared of physical contact. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I think, it's above mathematics and law averages and it being a team sport. I think that, people are so spoiled from the Jordan era with the misconception that Jordan put the Bulls on his back and he
Mhm.
got championships and he was undefeated and that was his story. See, people, well, I'm gonna say this: sports fans are the worst because they do not appreciate what's going on in the present tense until it's past tense, and that's when they want to reminisce and whatever. Like back in the day when we were in school, people used to talk about, hey, back in the '70s, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar used to do this and all this, and Magic Johnson, and Magic Johnson, Pete Maravich, that you can't be that tall being no point guard, and what I mean, just like people, and that same person if they're still alive. Like, oh boy, when Magic Johnson was playing, he was the greatest of all time. When that
Mhm.
Michael Jordan, he was cool too. But Magic, he was a 6'7" point guard. Where they got that at? You know what I mean? So I
Right.
mean, that's just how sports fans are. Like how they used to shit on Dennis Green's team. Now I mean, you would probably pay. Well, you do pay anyway. I mean, you would pay to have a Dennis Green team now.
Yeah, no
The
doubt.
talent that he had on his teams.
No doubt. He had Hall of Famers on that team. Definitely. And took the Vikings to 15-2, you know. Um, no, I'm totally with you with that. A lot of people can't let go of their heroes of their era. Um, and yeah, I agree with that. That's why I had to recognize who the GOATs are. But man, it's hard to go against this LeBron James for everything he's done. Um, so yeah, every era has a dog, you know what I'm saying? So I like that aspect of it, that we still can look at the future dog right here, or he's not the future, but the last of the Mohicans, last of the greats, LeBron James, and then we can look at Jordan's era, then we can look at Magic's era. We can go down the line, and yeah, you're absolutely right. Um, but it's unfortunate that the Phoenix fans and NBA fans had to see another year without one of the most explosive offensive players they have declared in Kevin Durant. Now, he did have a cold night, but thinking about how they came together, and Kevin Durant came mid-season after being with the Nets earlier this year, I thought that he took too much of a back seat to Devin Booker. And Devin Booker is definitely a star. He's an all-star. He's an assassin. He disappeared last night, which is unfortunate, and so did KD. But do you think Kevin Durant should have stepped out more, even though he was a visitor? It wasn't his team, but yet it's his. He's one of the boys that's going to try to lead them to the championship. What's your
I
thought?
mean, it's like this, man. In the age of super duper teams and things like that, you seeing that you know things become adaptable, and now you just can't just get a bunch of hired guns on a team and just bulldoze to a championship. You got to respect the game, and I think that we're probably looking at the end or a change or a hybridization of the era where you go pack your team with with superstars.
Yeah, that's what they're
Because
saying. That's exactly what
you know
they're
what I mean,
saying.
because you look at LA is a hot ass mess. They just happen to be matched pretty good right
Mhm.
now.
Right.
Other than that, I mean, like they mortgaged their team to appease one player. They sent good talent elsewhere so he can have the team that he wanted. And I think when you get an owner, when you get an owner that has some balls, nuts, that shit's gonna come to an end. And people
Mhm.
are gonna start building teams appropriately instead of looking for the jiffy quick. I mean, like the instantaneous championships.
No doubt. Well, the collective bargaining agreement was just this past year, at the top of the new year. And so going into the year of 2024, they have eliminated that, where you can't just go and build super teams anymore. They actually cut some of the overall team budget, where you can't really do that no more. They're trying to bring more equality to the NBA,
Mm-hmm.
which I agree with. Why? Because if you're thinking from a business sense, and the NBA's your brand, that's your hustle, that's your baby, and you
Mm-hmm.
got a guy like LeBron getting ready to leave, one of the last of the Mohicans, you have to bring equality back to the teams, because you got to figure out, well, who's going to take the mantle now and be the face of the NBA. You
Not
know.
to cut you off, shit is
Yeah,
fucked up because it's not organic no more. You don't
yeah,
have a situation to where you have that square or that odd person that transmogrifies himself into the team leader, that alpha. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? You don't have that no more. It's just too ready made. You pour water, mix the grits, and you get a superstar. Or you supposed
Mm,
to get a superstar.
no
You know,
doubt.
that's why, you're looking at little Bronny James or whatever his name is. They were talking about he's going straight to the pros via whatever bullshit they do now. Now he's going to college, like he should do anyway. And it's more or less like, I feel like shit's changed. Well, things have changed now. You got kids coming out of high school getting millions of dollars for those new deals and shit like that, which I don't have a problem with.
Hmm.
I mean, shit, it's something to watch and see what how that shit turns out. But
No
I'm
doubt.
glad to see that the colleges are done pimping on our children. You know,
Absolutely.
you see these kids go to these programs and shit and get injured and they're through. You know what I'm saying? And they're stowed away. They barely even get a education. Look like the old boy they drafted in Portland, Odin. What
Yeah,
was that?
Odin, first round pick
Yeah,
back in the
yeah.
day.
Right, his knees didn't hold up and shit like that. I mean, had
Mhm.
he not been a top draft pick, premier, he'd probably be broke.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt, no
You
doubt.
know,
And speaking of Odin, man, I want to go ahead and Odom. I want to go ahead and just tip my
yeah,
hat
hold up.
to the big fella because Ice Cube did give him an opportunity, and he held up there, man. So he's in the big three leagues, and he looks good, man. He couldn't play in today's game. He's just too heavy, but definitely, I just love to see brothers give other brothers opportunities, man. So big hat
Hmm.
off to older man, Ice Cube and the big three. Y'all make sure y'all support the big three when it comes out this spring. You probably be hearing a little bit more about that. All right, let's go ahead and move on. But before I move on, I want to just say this about the Phoenix Suns, man. To be down in a game 6 to the Denver Nuggets. Now, the Denver Nuggets is a great team. They're loaded at like 4 or 5 spots. And then
Hmm.
they got the Joker. He's a great leader. Slow European man, but he's offensively sound. He's offensively sound. He's a bad boy. I didn't want to call him the white boy. You know what I mean? I wanted to keep it clean. And no disrespect to none of my European viewers. We just, we talk how we talk here on Coffee Talk Podcast, just like if you're at a barbershop. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the Joker's a great player. But the point I'm trying to get at is that damn Phoenix. You mean to tell me you was down by 30 points at halftime and you got whooped 125 to 100, and you got a Kevin Durant and a Booker on your team. Now, I do admit Phoenix was shorthanded with their big, so they didn't have a big out there at all. But man, I just never. When I think of my superheroes in the NBA,
Hmm.
I don't see my heroes getting beat by 25. Man, not in games like decisive games. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm just saying, my main sport has always been boxing and shit like that.
No doubt.
My favorite fight of all time had nights off. Ali got whooped on certain nights and things like that. I mean, you're just gonna have a bad night. That's the law of average when you're a human being. One day you're gonna show up and it's not gonna be your night, and you're gonna get that work.
No doubt. All right. So look. And the Denver Nuggets, man. Let me know. Do you think that the Denver Nuggets can go far? Do you think they can reach the NBA Finals? Go ahead and leave it in the comments. And when you're there, make sure you hit like. Make sure you call your cousin and them and tell them that Coffee Talk Podcast is on. Co-host Brother Leo M. Saba. And we here, man. It's Friday night sports, man. We getting y'all right and ready before y'all get ready to go out tonight. You know how we do it. All right, check it. So let's move along, man. I wanted to jump into this. It's two guys that I can care less for. I'm just gonna say it. But if you're wondering why I'm having it as one of the topics, because again, this is sports. We love sports. We're both great sports fans. and it's intriguing. I'm talking about the fight between Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, former MMA superstar. Jake Paul carries a record right now of 6 wins, 1 loss. You know, he's not considered a professional boxer. I forgot the term that they call that. Is he uh I don't even want to try to think of the word, but he's a amateur boxer that fights professionally. So he has 6 wins, 1 loss. He has 4 KOs. They're going to be fighting at 185 pounds. It's an 8 rounder. It's going to be taking place at the American Airlines Center in Dallas. But again, it's Nate Diaz and Jake Paul. Now, Nate Diaz goes by Shock G. He has a 21 win, 13 loss MMA record. He also has 5 knockouts. They say he's been training with Andre Ward for the last few years. Now, I don't know. You know, that could be some hype, some cap, just to get the fight
Mhm.
started. But Nate Diaz, again, he's a former UFC star. He made his MMA debut. For those that may not know him, he made his debut in 2004. And I lost you on the camera, brother Lil. Let me see where you at. There we go. Give me 1 second. All right, you should be coming on in a second here. All right, there we go. So yeah, and Nate Diaz again, he made his debut in 2004. He had a 1 win, 1 loss record against Conor McGregor, which was a great fight. If you want to check that out, you go on YouTube. But then he lost to Jorge Masvidal. But by standards of MMA standards and street fighting, Nate Diaz, he's a Hall of Famer. What do you think about this fight, man? What do you think about Jake Paul, man? Talk to me.
You know, they organic. I'm gonna use tonight's word is organic.
Mm,
you know, they had to get their white hope from somewhere, and so now the state of professional boxing is so bullshit right now that literally people can jump off the couch and get pay-per-view buys and shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I mean, I give the dude the props. He looks definitely different from when he started.
Hmm.
This niche fighting shit. To oppose where he is now, and I would call him a professional fighter.
Okay.
Um, like, I'm not trying to be prejudiced because I can't be racist, obviously. Um, but it's like they're doing this Jerry Cooney shit, and they're getting away with it, like. Or Rocky Marciano, where they feed older fighters, no matter if they're boxers, MMA artists, MMA fighters. They have long passed their due date, and they're getting smashed
Mm,
by this young dude who's in shape, who has good trainers,
yeah.
and I just feel bad that fighters gotta humiliate themselves to get a paycheck. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Let me look at this from 2 lenses, though, because I'm curious of your thoughts. First, I want to say this to our viewers. When you say the word great white hype, for you that want to know where that comes from as a historian, you have to definitely look that up because back in the early 70s, late 70s, early 80s, there was always the black champion. Rocky Marciano started it because he was the first guy to go at 49-0, I believe it was. But then
Hmm.
they created this imagery and this phrase called Great White Hype, and so that first belonged to a gentleman by the name of Tex Cobb. Look that up, our viewers, if you are interested in knowing who that guy is. I think he played in the movie too. But Tex Cobb uh,
Hmm.
was
He
the
got
Great White
battered.
Hype.
He
Yeah,
got
he,
battered by Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes abused him.
yeah, Larry
But
Holmes
the,
put his
the
hands
great
on him.
white the great white hope hype slash whatever you want to call it initially came from the era when they allowed Jack Johnson to come in and do what he did.
Absolutely.
Jess Willard was their hired hand in doing what they did to Jess Johnson. You know what I'm
No
saying? But
doubt.
Jack Dempsey took care of him later on, beat the hell out of him.
No doubt, no doubt, and
And
we actually just talked about that fight with Jack Johnson last week on our show. But yeah, so then it carried on from Tex Cobb to Jerry Cooney or whatnot. But here's where I want to ask you. Jake Paul, being a novelist, that's the word I was looking for. He's a novelist fighter.
No, he's not a novelist. He's not a
You don't
novelist.
agree with that? Okay.
His first fight,
Yeah.
I would say he's a novelist. When he started putting those professional trainers around him,
Yeah.
and he started getting work. And when I mean by work, like sparring with
Hmm.
professionals.
Hmm.
Nah, man, that's not a novice no more. That's a
Okay.
professional fighter, and
Okay.
I think it's a travesty how the public buys buys these fights, man, because it's like you got a person who shaped herself into um a world class athlete, and he's fighting somebody I mean, that you can clearly see he's on a downward slide.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's like dog fighting where you put a old grand champion and with a new one, and I mean, you know how that goes. It's kind of like the passing the torch, but in this situation it's not really a passing the torch because of the niche that it I mean, because of the niche that this genre fills. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Because he's not gonna go fight nobody that's actually ranked, who's a contender. I
Right.
mean, put him in with Canelo, and I really don't care for Canelo too
He's
much.
been asking for Canelo. He's been
Yeah,
asking
no, he don't.
for
He
Canelo.
don't. I mean, yeah, you want that paycheck, but he's gonna get brutally beat up.
Yeah.
He's
True.
gonna get. He's gonna get beat to where, yeah, he's gonna get a Toby beaten. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Kunta
Yeah.
Kinte Toby. They're
He don't
gonna
need
hang him. And
he don't
yeah,
need
Canelo will brutalize him.
Hey, let me ask you
I
this
say anybody in the top 20 with reflexes will beat the daylights out of dude.
too. No doubt. Is he inspiring though? Is he inspiring guys that in their mind want to beat up the bullies?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's inspiring those that. Yeah, he's inspiring. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk about Nate Diaz, man. Cause see, I checked out the press conference. Y'all can check out the press conference as well. It's on YouTube. But I checked out the press conference last night, man. Nate Diaz, his promotional company is co-hosting the promotions with Jake Paul. They both combined their promotional
Mhm.
companies. They both looking for a big paycheck. But Nate, to me, looked like he's on the downhill.
His
And
record says it all. 25-17.
right now he carries a record of 21 and 13. Yeah.
I'm
And
okay.
he
Mm.
looked like like he wasn't into it, like he was drunk or on something. Allegedly, I want to say that allegedly, because maybe that's just him. But he looked like he's on the downhill. Do you feel like a MMA fighter can ever beat Jake Paul? Because so far it's only been Tommy Fury. Even Anderson Silva got beat up
And,
in a unanimous.
Anderson Silva took some money and didn't beat him like he didn't beat him up like he could have. And
Mm.
that was a fucking dive, man.
That was a dive.
That was a dive, man. Rewatch that, man. That was pathetic, man. Is Anderson broke? I mean, like, why did you do that?
Yeah, that's the question right there. Is he broke?
Like,
Why you
like
damaging your legacy?
badly.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, well, look, let's go ahead and move on. But before we move on again, I just want to give the date. The Nate Diaz Jake Paul fight is scheduled for August 5th. It's going to be taking place at the American Airlines Center in Dallas. You can also catch that for $81 on DIAZ and pay-per-view. So, they getting their bread, baby. They get their bread.
Yeah.
All right, so going next to our next segment, man, we're going to talk about basketball, man. Again, we're going back to this tonight. The Lakers play Golden State in it could be a decisive game. It's a game 6 tonight. Lakers versus Golden State. Lakers lead the series 3-2. Um, and in the news, we'll just start with this because it's in the news. It's hot. They were laughing at him. They was laughing at your boy AD. He gets barely touched under the rim. Some people call it a concussion. It didn't look like he was touched really, but okay. For the sake of our viewers, Our hats go off to AD. We don't want nothing physically to be wrong with him, but he was rolled out in a wheelchair. Talk to me about AD,
Man, I think he's getting some karma back the way he played New Orleans. You know,
man.
I think they all getting theirs in that whole situation because that was some trifling shit that went down. How he even came to LA and just
Mm.
like you just gave up on your team that drafted you and shit like that. You know,
Yeah.
again, that trying to build that super shit. They had an organic situation going on because uh New Orleans got off in the draft with Zion and another dude. I can't think of his name. Like if he would have stayed put where he's at right now,
Mm-hmm.
man. If he'd have stayed put
Mm-hmm.
and they just needed some little pieces and shit like that. I think Chris Paul was on that team too, wasn't he?
Chris Paul too. Yeah.
Okay, so like everybody whoring for a fucking title, and you had the nucleus for a team, but you just didn't want to create the situation,
No
or
doubt.
allow that situation to form. This thing, they would have stayed put right there. They could have kept pieces and added some tools and fuels in that situation. Wouldn't nobody be fucking with New Orleans in the West right now.
No doubt. No doubt. My thoughts. Let me ask you this. My son, he's one of the new era kids. And he been paying attention to Zion since Zion was dunking and making the highlights on YouTube. And I had told my son a while back, man, in year one of Zion's career, I said, "Oh, he's going to New Orleans." I said, "Oh, he's going to be a bust then." My son said, "Why?" I said, "Oh man, because they got good food on every corner." And my question to you is: do you think Zion's time's up again? He's injured. You won't see him until next year.
No, no. I think what it is it's a maturing factor. He's a young dude.
Hmm.
He needs time to let his body fill out and do what it needs to do, and this, that, and the fifth. And he also needs to get him some discipline. And
Mm.
maybe he can't get it there. I'm gonna speak the
Almost
positive
300
of the brother.
pounds, man. He's almost 300
You know,
pounds.
I mean, I think I know that our opinions, even though we know what it is, our opinions come from white people, and our
Mm.
opinions come from what white people or white doctors think with our BMI and all the rest of that supposed to be whatever the fuck, all that shit, telling us, like, oh, you're overweight and this, that, and the fifth. You don't know nothing about our physiology. Shut the fuck up. You know what I
I
mean?
don't know. I might have to disagree with that one only because the laws of physics is the laws of physics. You got a guy that's 300, damn near 300 pounds,
Hmm.
cutting, stopping, cutting, stopping, running, cutting, stopping, dunking, and you're still 300 pounds going up and down. Weight is weight.
How
You
big was
know,
Shaq? How big was Shaq?
Shaq was taller,
Doesn't
way
matter.
taller
It
in
doesn't
length.
matter. Hey, if your heart can pump the blood to get it moving,
Yeah.
and you were built that way, that's what it is. We're too busy trying to create shit in our own image, man. God made that dude the way He wanted to make him. You feel
Mm,
me? I mean, you
mm,
look at Refrigerator Perry. Everybody said, that he was gonna be a bust because he was too big. That was
mm.
a very big, versatile dude.
Yeah.
Very big, versatile dude. I mean, he was a defensive tackle. The motherfucker could have been an offensive tackle if he wanted to. He ran the ball. You know what I'm saying? He blocked. He caught
Mm,
passes. I mean, he wasn't supposed to do that because why? According to what they said,
yeah.
you can't tell. I mean, shit. I mean, you look at shit. Let me think of it. Tyson Fury shouldn't be able to fight because he's too big. Because he's so big, he can't. He's not supposed to be that coordinated. And I go
Mm,
back to Shaq. Shaq wasn't supposed to be as coordinated. Shit, Akeem Olajuwon was a big dude. He was thinner, but he was a big dude, and he was very coordinated.
mm, Some
I
would
mean,
say though,
Zion is coordinated. I mean, I think that he lacks discipline, and maybe that translates into his weight. But I mean, sometimes your weight is your weight.
he can't put the food down.
I don't know the dude, so I really can't speak to that though.
No
I
doubt, no
don't
doubt,
know.
no doubt, no doubt. Well, check
But
it.
he
The
was a
Lakers
big
play.
body. But he was a big body coming into the. He was a big body coming into the NBA. They knew that about him already. He was a big dude, busting shoes and this, that, and the fifth.
Yeah, no doubt. Well,
They already knew that.
we're gonna definitely send positive energy out to brother Zion, man. And we just want to say here at Coffee Talk, man, we want to see you on the floor, man. You give us 62 games in one season, man. You don't even got to play the whole 82, man. Give us about 62 games, man, so you can get out the doghouse. But right now, looks like you in the doghouse, man. So, hey, come on, Zion. Come on, Zion. All right.
Hey,
Next. Oh, actually, no, I don't want to leave our subject with the Lakers and Golden State because that's an important game tonight. Again, the Lakers is trying to finish off Golden State. The Lakers have a 3-2 lead in the best of seven. We're not sure if Anthony Davis is gonna play tonight, because again, they're calling it a concussion. And that was only 32 hours ago. So, you know, uh, usually they like to keep you out a couple games. It ain't the old days, man. It ain't the old days where you can just tape your fingers together like Magic used to do and go get busy. These cats are sitting down, man. It's I gotta say it the way I see it. It's a soft era. That's why I don't. I like it, but I don't enjoy the NBA like I used to, man.
oh, you're one of them.
Yeah,
You're one of them. You're one of
yeah,
them.
man. Cause I can't stand seeing everybody just line along the 3-point line and shoot threes.
A motherfucker get their toe tore off. Hey man, get some Ace Bandage tapes and wrap that motherfucking toe back on. Send him back out there.
Hmm.
Hey man, these people's bodies is their paycheck, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's their
Hmm.
livelihood. And I argue with Darnell Johnson, shout out to Darnell, all the time about how all these niggas is soft now. LeBron James is a super flopper and this, that, and the fifth, and they don't go hard like they used to go hard. Well, no, they don't, because they have a clear understanding what the economics is on their body. Their body is their means to make an income. Now, if you sitting there diving into the fucking floor, you know what I'm saying, knocking your brain loose and shit, tearing your knees up, you know what I'm saying, you're not going to have a long career, i.e., that means you're not going to get that much money. So
I
I
see
think
that
now
point.
they're trying to conserve their body.
I see that point, and that point I would justify if it was the NFL, but in NBA basketball, that money's guaranteed. And so this brother's already getting shit 250 to $300 million.
Okay,
Basically.
government taking half of that. Then after the
Okay.
government take their half, the agent get how many agents how many vouchers you got? They're gonna come and pick that shit. Then you got your living expenses, which may include taking care of family members. That's not a lot of money when everybody gets a hold of that pie. You have people clowning the shit out of Latrell Sprewell when he's talking about 21 million wasn't enough money. I mean,
Hmm.
it's better than zero, but you know what I'm saying. But
Oh.
I could feel that though. They got to. I mean, they're in a totally different tax bracket and shit. Uncle
Mm,
Sam taking half.
no doubt. Well said. Well said. Well, tell me, man, who you got tonight, man? Who you got tonight? 62% of the people on one of the sports shows, one of the old media sports shows I watch,
Mhm.
62% got the Lakers winning it tonight. What's your thoughts? Do you think they take it? They pull it out?
Um, I'll say this: if the Lakers don't win it tonight, they're getting eliminated.
They're gonna get eliminated because they're gonna go back
If
to
they
Golden
don't make
State.
it tonight, they're gonna eliminate it. They're gone. Anthony Davis, they're gone. Don't matter.
No doubt, no doubt. Let us know, viewers, if you're watching Coffee Talk Podcast. Right now it's 7:39 p.m. Friday, May 12th. This is the Cultural Variety Podcast show with my co-host, Brother Leo, and your boy M. Saba. And this is the Cultural Variety Podcast show. Go ahead and leave a comment. Who y'all think's gonna win tonight? Lakers versus Golden State. I'm sorry I didn't check out the spread. But tell me who you think is going to win. Tell me by how much. Also, you can tell me the combined total of both teams. Go ahead and leave that in the comments. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you call Aunt Rudy and tell her, old ass, that Coffee Talk Podcast is on. This is Sports Night Friday. Well, it is Sports Night Friday, damn it. All right, check it. So, again, before we get ready to go, man, I want to go ahead and just talk about what's up and coming next week in sports. Tomorrow, you guys got a good fight on the way. Well, I won't say good fight. I'll ask you about it, but it's at 140 pounds. It's a vacant It's the vacant junior welterweight title, and it's against a 40-year-old fighter by the name of Ishmael Barrosa, who once was a WBA junior welterweight champ, by the way. But he's 40 years old, and he's fighting against Rolando Raleigh Romero. Y'all remember Raleigh Romero, the guy that got knocked out brutally. Is that a word? Brutally? But he got knocked out brutally. There it is, by Javante Tank Davis, man. So your boy Raleigh back, man. What's your thoughts on Raleigh?
Hey, he's very entertaining as far as his mouth is concerned. I mean, I thought just because he got beat by Tank doesn't mean he's a weak fighter. I mean, Tank is an exceptional individual. So I mean, let's
Raleigh
see
was
what he
winning a
do.
couple rounds too. Raleigh was
I
winning a
want to
couple
see,
rounds.
I want to see Riley Romero fight Adrian Broner.
Mm, mm. Yeah, that's the fight I want to see too, King. I wouldn't mind seeing that because they both have something to fight for. Raleigh wants to show that he's not a joke, and then Adrian stating that he's calmed his habit or kicked his habit allegedly. Everybody knows he's even said that he drinks a little bit, and so Adrian done slimmed down, man. I heard again allegedly that he just signed the Don King Promotions, man. So I think that's big for him.
Yeah, he
I
did.
Yeah, I got respect for Don King, man. I know we got the stories about Don King took some money, whatever, but but the way I see it from another lens, Don King made a lot of brothers rich, man. A lot of brothers rich, just like
Mhm.
the Eastern Assassin, Larry Holmes, Mike Tyson. Even though Mike Tyson lost 400 million, Mike Tyson still got M's. Um, so that's just what it is. Ali,
Mhm.
all of that. But yeah, the brother Ishmael Barrosa, according to the old media sports channel, we don't need to name their names, but who I was watching, there's a prediction that Ishmael Barrosa gets knocked out in the fourth round by Raleigh Romero. Does Raleigh Romero need a knockout?
He needs a W. He can get it. He
Definitely coming
needs
off
a
the loss.
win. A knockout would be beautiful. A knockout would definitely help him. But also, he's kind of like in a not so much in a lose situation. I mean, it's a situation to where he'll pick up a title
Hmm.
if he wins. But people are going to question him still because like you got that belt by beating the old man. So
No
if he's
doubt. No
not
doubt.
if he's not fighting somebody in the top 10, I mean it's cool, but
Is it a setup? 'Cause I noticed that it's at 140. It's for a vacant WBA belt. Um, is it a setup for Raleigh possibly fighting Ryan Garcia? And if so, who do you think wins between Ryan Garcia and Raleigh Romero?
Mm.
They both took L's.
Yeah, Riley only got one L versus Ryan got two L's. So I mean, and then see, you got everybody talking about that. They felt like he gave up.
One
In that
got
last.
rocked to sleep, and the other one took a body blow. So somebody got to make amends for that. So also, just moving right along. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say this: the Ishmael Barrosa. Maybe I did say it, but Ishmael Barrosa versus Raleigh Romero. That takes place May 13th, which is tomorrow. So you definitely can check that out. It's not pay-per-view, but I do apologize. I didn't do enough homework to tell you what channel that's on. But I'm sure y'all can find it. Y'all got homies with the Fire Stick and all
I'm
the
gonna tell you, I don't know what they selling that for. $5? I don't know.
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna pay for that. So, but I'm sure y'all can catch that fight. Make sure you search the wire to find out what channels it's gonna be in. And again, I apologize to our viewers for not doing that part of the homework. I didn't get lazy, but I didn't think I was gonna talk about the fight till tomorrow. And then scheduled for next week, next Saturday is the fight we all waiting for. Again, this is a 135-pound undisputed lightweight title match May 20th against Devin Haney, 29-0 with 15 KOs, against Vasily Lomachenko, who is 17-2 with 11 KOs. Who wins that fight, man?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with youth. I'm gonna go with the youth.
Mm, he got the
I'm
youth.
going
He
with the
got
youth.
the range. He's
Yeah,
definitely longer. You know, this fight is
definitely.
scary to me, and I'm gonna tell you why. I love Haney. I love Haney. I love Shakir. I love Tank. I love Crawford. I love Spence. Those are my dogs. I love the Charlo brothers. Those are my dogs. I'm cheering for all of them. But what scares me about this fight is that Haney doesn't have knockout power. So he's either going to beat you up for 12 rounds and that be that, and he's going to get the UD. But Lomachenko's been there before. And he's coming off of the war with Russia and the Ukraine. He went away for a little bit. Um, but he's showing signs of wear and tear. He's 35 years old. Some say he didn't win that last fight against Jermaine Ortiz. And then, of course, he lost to Telefimo. Is it possible that he can win this fight? Talk to me.
Anything is possible in boxing. If Haney slips up, he might get Zab Judah.
Mm. He got all
I
three
mean,
belts on the line, man. Um, he says that if he wins this fight, he wants Tank. I think they need to fight. That would make a big money fight. And again, you don't want to get used and abused in the sport of boxing. That's what Mayweather tells us. So,
well,
I
see,
mean,
here's my thing with that though, man. And I think I really don't care for Canelo as a fighter, so to speak. To be honest with you, but I respect his mind as far as like the shit that he's been saying of late. Like
mm,
they want to, people say he's ducking Benavidez, and he may be. But at
mm,
the same time, though, he said he does right now in his career, he doesn't want to fight other Mexican fighters. They're his
when it comes
brothers.
to Canelo, okay.
Yeah, and just think of a black fighter did that. Said they don't want to fight black fighters, they want to fight others. The outrage would be crazy.
Mm,
You know, other people can say shit like, you know, man, they're very racist over there in England. This is really crazy. I don't even want to go into that, but more or less though, it's more or less like black people gotta black fighters have to tiptoe about they can't trash talk the way we're supposed to be able to in that sport to drum up interest like the shit that Tyson Fury can get away with saying, talking
mm,
about homosexuals, talking about Asian people. I mean the shit the dude get away with saying, like Bernard Hopkins, who you brought up earlier, he got crucified for saying he's not gonna let a white boy beat him. Devin
mm,
Haney had to kiss ass for saying there's not a white boy in the world that'll whoop him. You know, when we talk braggadocio about ourselves, then there's a problem.
mm,
And I'm looking at the blatant hypocrisy in that. Canelo can say he doesn't want to fight other Mexicans or
mm,
other Hispanic fighters.
mm.
You know, I, I,
No
I want.
doubt.
Go ahead. I mean, I just really want to see a black fighter take that stand.
No
And
doubt.
but it just shows you how dominant we are in sports. That if black fighters avoided each other, there would really be no fights because they'll
No.
clear out the white boys and the Hispanics very easy in certain weight classes. Other weight classes, not so much. But
Right.
like from middleweight on up to heavyweight, if black fighters stop fighting other black fighters, that'll be. I mean, there'll probably be some race wars involved with it. But you know what I'm
So,
saying? But
so, but you didn't answer my question though.
mhm.
Do you think with Lomachenko, can he be victorious? Can he
Yeah,
beat him?
Archie Moore beat. I mean, let's keep it real though. 35 is not old.
Okay.
Okay. Now, but he was a amateur. He has a very, very, very extensive amateur background that he's fought maybe what 300 fights in. And that doesn't even include all the ring work he got that he's got,
Mm,
So I mean, his body might be falling apart because of usage.
no doubt.
And see,
I would
he's a
say this.
reflex fighter. If his reflexes is gone in this fight, he's gonna make Haney look great, and he's probably gonna get retired. If his reflexes is gone, or if his reflexes have declined that much, that young man's gonna time him and clean his ass out.
And that's what
It's gonna
Haney's
be a
saying
wrap for him.
too. That's what Haney's saying. Haney's saying that Lomachenko should have fought him 4 years ago. Haney's saying that he wants to send him into retirement. So those are definitely the sporting threats that are being stated. And I had this vision, man. Sometimes visions
Mhm.
come to me, and Haney got to be careful. Just got to be careful because
Lomachenko has to be more careful than Haney, to be
yeah,
honest with you, because when you get old in boxing, it's
yeah,
like that. When Roy Jones's shit went, that's
yeah.
when you seen him getting beat by C-level fight. Antonio Tarver was never that good. Let's
Okay,
keep it real.
okay,
Glenn, what was that dude's name? The Jamaican dude that
yeah,
knocked him out on some fluke shit. They weren't really great fighters. What it was is his reflexes left him. And I had this theory about boxers and acting. When you don't act while you're an active boxer because you have to devote too much time to that craft.
yeah, yeah.
Ali did his thing with his movie, if you remember, and he did his life story, and he got his ass whooped by Leon Spinks after that movie. Leon
I didn't know
Spinks
that.
whooped his ass.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Lennox Lewis did Ocean's 11, got his ass whooped.
Mm,
Anytime active boxers delve into the acting, they get their ass whooped.
mm. No doubt, no doubt. Well, again, this is going to be taking place May 20th. It's for the undisputed welterweight champ. No, I'm sorry, the undisputed lightweight championship. Devin Haney again, 29-0 with 15 KOs, and he's going to be fighting Lomachenko, a former champion, two-belt champion. That's coming off a win over Jermaine Ortiz. I don't even like to say that. I don't even like the taste of it because Jermaine Ortiz actually won that fight. I watched that fight,
Mm.
but they gave it to Lomachenko anyway. But Lomachenko's coming in here with 17 wins, 2 losses, 11 KOs. This fight is scheduled for May 20th, 135 pounder. So we definitely again we'll be talking about that next Wednesday as we get ready to go into the fight. We might even have a pre-fight show. We always do. They have a pre-fight show that night, that Saturday night, for this particular fight. But I just like to go ahead and say this, man. I like to thank you again, as usual. Kicking in the back door. You got the key, but you always kick in the back door. Come on in on the Coffee Talk Podcast show. And this is our Friday night sports edition, brought to you by Wednesday, because we missed Wednesday. We should have been here Wednesday. But life is life.
Oh, we
Yeah,
gotta talk about that. We gotta talk about that elephant in the room.
what's that?
That tournament they're trying to do in Saudi Arabia with your boy Tyson Fury, Erst, Anthony Joshua, and Deontay Wilder. I really want to see Deontay Wilder and AJ and Anthony Joshua get that on. I really, truly want to see that happen.
I would like to see
Everybody's
that.
supposed to get big money. Tyson Fury's supposed to get 90 million. Erst is supposed to get 50. Um, AJ and Wilder supposed to be getting 30 apiece.
Mm,
Wilder signed. He signed already. So it's all it's the last three. I mean, the other three they got to do their part with that pen and paper.
man, I
But
heard about that, man, but I wasn't going to bring that up till later because it's scheduled for December. But man, that would be a great tournament, and if it all can happen under the same card, like they're suggesting, man, that's gonna be awesome, man. That's gonna be some of my
well, see,
sports.
Fury got a fight coming up in July, and they're trying to pair him up with Zilly Zhang, the one who just knocked out Joe Joyce. So
Yeah, the Asian
Zilly
cat.
Zhang is Zilly Zhang is 270 pounds when he fights, and Tyson Fury is about 260. The reason why Tyson Fury did what he did to Deontay Wilder was leaning on him with that big body
Oh
and,
yeah,
and his size. So
yeah,
now him fighting Zilly Zhang, you're basically fighting somebody who's you're not going to be able to weight bully dude. And plus, dude's a southpaw,
yeah.
and Fury don't do well with southpaws. Even though he's
Okay.
undefeated, that's not what he want to do because because they've been having a hard time matching him up for the undisputed fight with Ertz because he's a southpaw too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Usyk and in the Fury fight. That's what we want to see at the heavyweight division. But you know what? Until the heavyweight division get their shit together. Oh, you know what? Let me say this. Isn't Deontay Wilder supposed to be fighting my Mexican homeboy, former champion?
Nah, see, man, yeah, you're talking about Ruiz.
Ruiz, or did they
Ruiz
not
got
finalize that? What's going on?
man, two things popped off in that situation.
Mm,
Um, the PBC, from what I've heard, from what I've been seeing on, these boxing blogs and shit like that, they're not guaranteeing purses like they used to. Deontay Wilder got on the microphone and said, I would love to fight Ruiz, but I'm tired of Al Heyman paying me late with my money. And oh boy, Adrian Broner said, he's still getting money from fights from 6 years ago that he ain't got the back end on that he's supposed to be getting. So that
mm.
fight with Ruiz could not be made because there was no guaranteed money for that fight.
Oh man, that's hurting
And
boxing.
so the other end of it is Ruiz is on some quote unquote nigger shit where he's pulling AK-47s on his wife, whooping her ass, all kinds of shit in front of
Mm,
the kids. So he's right now he's radioactive right now.
okay, no doubt, no doubt. Let us know, man. Do y'all want to see that boxing tournament later in December in Dubai, which features Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, and who was the fourth one?
Is Tyson Fury Ersk and is Deontay Wilder Anthony Joshua.
Oh, okay. So Usyk and okay, no doubt. Yeah, man. Let us know who you think wins that final four in the heavyweight division. They're scheduled sometime. They're foreseeing for it to be December of 2023. But with that being said, we're gonna get ready to let y'all go, man. Cause some of y'all putting on y'all's fishnet black
Black
panty, no,
Antonio,
and then some
thick
of y'all,
legs,
you
those
know it.
through the
That's the
hole.
Twin Cities thing. Shout out to Morris Day, one of our hometown sons. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I just like to thank you, man, again for being on the show tonight, and definitely we'll see you again. I'm gonna go ahead and say this to our viewers, man. Let us know, man, what's your thoughts on the Lakers, Golden State? Who's gonna win that game tonight? By how much? And then I also want you to tell me what the collective point total will be for both teams. What you would think it'd be 136 points, 42 points. Go ahead and let us know who wins that tonight. The Lakers at Golden State, game 6. And I want to say that's in LA tonight.
It's in LA.
It's in LA tonight, no doubt. And then
What's up with the Knicks and the Heat? What you think about that? Or you think the Knicks is just fried and died and flip to the side?
man, you know what? I'm just happy for the Knicks, man. I got tired of seeing them being doormats for the last decade. So, man, that young gunner that they got at that point guard, man, woo, that boy's bad. He played all 35 minutes, or all 42 minutes, uh,
Hmm.
last game, man. But again, at the same time, I'm a Twin Cities, Minnesota boy, Rondo Avenue, and I got to go with Jimmy Buckets in them, man. I got to rock with Jimmy, man.
Hey, he's doing his Michael Jordan imitation like a motherfucker. And
No
ain't nobody
doubt,
telling him he's not.
no doubt,
He's
no
tearing the
doubt.
patch out their ass, man. It's like they're like, not to prolong the situation, but why does Minnesota get rid of talent like that all the fucking time? It makes it hard for me to fuck with our teams because of their conservativeness, cheapskatedness, and just trying to copy the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah,
Football, basketball, it's not baseball. Baseball, you can sneak in and win a championship on a cheap.
yeah,
You're not going to win the NBA title with some fucking replacement players. You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna. You can romanticize all you want about those blue collar teams, white boys. You know what I'm saying? That won championships. That shit's over. It's
right.
done. And
So in
Minnesota
actuality,
always
in actuality, you saying what I'm saying? Big Cat is soft, man. Big Cat soft,
pussy.
no doubt,
Meow,
no doubt.
meow. He's a
Now
cat. He's pussy.
that's what Jimmy Buckets said, man. So definitely shout out to Jimmy Buckets, the Miami Heat against New York Knicks tonight, also, and then it's going to be followed by the Lakers and Golden State. So, man, I
Better
just want
not
to say,
lose my boy Edwards.
no doubt. I want to just say, man, thank you for tuning into the show. Thank you, viewers, for continually supporting Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast show. You know that we appear 3 days a week. We have our Sunday alternate Monday nights where we do cultural studies night. We have our Wednesday nights where we particularly do our sports. And again, we're not your average sports show. We like to give you the different intricacies about what's going on behind the scenes in the world of sports. And then on Friday and Saturday nights, like we do tonight, typically this is our grown folks social hour. Usually you will see brother Leo with us. We play 10 question Q&A. We bring guests on. We just do it how we do it on the weekends. But tonight we wanted to definitely make up for not bringing y'all Sports Night Wednesday. So that's what we did tonight. We want to keep it true, live and direct, and give you the flavor here at Coffee Talk Podcast. Excuse me, I'm over here burping. Anything you want to say to the viewers, man, before you check out?
Coming soon. The return of unanimous opinions.
No doubt. No doubt. Make sure you check out Brother Layout, man. I'm gonna go ahead and say peace to you, King, and I'll see you soon. And I'm gonna just go ahead and give them the last few minutes of a Coffee Talk podcast. I'll see you, King.
Dos vidania.
Peace. All right. So again, this is Coffee Talk Podcast, man. This is the Cultural Variety Podcast show where you get the flavor 3 times a week with me, your boy, your host, Mashoom Saba M. Saba, and it's our Cultural Variety Podcast show. I'm gonna hit you with the universal peace sign. We out of here, man. Stay tuned till next time. Peace and love.